markets are not out to get you, at least not in the way you think. I see a lot of traders that blame their performance on the markets instead of themselves. But the most important thing you can realize is that trading is simply a mirror. It's a reflection of what's inside of yourself. Because when you get on those charts, it's not just about what the markets are doing. It's not just about what price is doing. It's about your specific reactions and how you handle looking at the charts. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's pressing the button. You're the one that's getting out too early. You're the one that's over leveraging. All these things, they come from within yourself. And in many ways, that's probably one of the best things about trading. It's the fact that it reveals so much about ourselves that we wouldn't have seen in any other way. We wouldn't have seen it in any other business. Nothing that I've done has come close to trading in terms of self-discovery. That's really what trading is. It's a journey of self-discovery. And I've said this before, that even if you have all the technicals in the world, if you still haven't gotten over yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. Way too many people are too quick on blaming the markets instead of blaming themselves. And what you're doing there is that you're essentially delaying the inevitable, which is you're going to have to one day look at yourself in the mirror and realize that the issue, it's not what the markets were doing that day, the news drivers that we had that day. The issue is actually yourself. Your fear shows up in those early exits. Your greed shows up in those oversized, over-leveraged positions. Your impatience shows up in taking trades that aren't even part of your plan. And your ego shows up when you refuse to cut losing trades, or when you're taking trades just because you think they're going to impress someone. Every trade that you take reveals something about yourself and how you perform under pressure. So no matter how much you might like to say that you fix these issues and that you now move past your psychological troubles with trading, at the end of the day, it's going to show up on the charts regardless. That's the only way of actually knowing if you've done it or not. Because the thing is, you have to understand, the charts don't lie, but we tend to lie to ourselves. And the only person that's hurting is yourself. You're basically holding yourself back in something that's already very difficult to do. You're making things a lot harder because you're not ready to face the truth. And the truth is, you are probably still struggling with some of these things. And you need to really work on getting past them. And so how are you supposed to get past them? How are you supposed to fix these issues? Well, think about it. There's a reason why they've been revealed to you in the first place. When an issue appears, when you see that you have a problem or something is broken, you don't just go and think, oh, I hope it goes away, or I hope the problem fixes itself. What you do is you take action, just like anything else. If your car is broken down and you got to take it to the workshop to get it fixed, you don't just say, I hope my car gets to the workshop by itself, gets fixed, gets returned back to me, and everything is going to be a-okay. You don't say that. And it's the same with trading. You don't just hope these problems are going to go away, because you have to actually take that step yourself. And so what are the steps? Well, first of all, step number one, realize the issue. Realize that you actually have a problem. Don't try to cover it up. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to gaslight yourself into thinking that you're perfect and your trading psychology is on point already. Because if it was, then you'd already be exactly where you want to be right now. You wouldn't have to even think about this. The markets specifically expose your weakness so that you can fix them. And this is something that I went through, and I'm very grateful that I did. Because if I hadn't started trading, I never would have had to face these issues so head on. And in the beginning, it's a big shock. It's like you're experiencing things and finding out things about yourself, about who you truly are, that you wouldn't think about. Like you couldn't even imagine some of the things that you're struggling with that just appear once you actually start trading. Essentially, all these things are going to be revealed. I'm gonna be honest, some of the things that you have to face, they're probably going to be, if not terrifying, at least eye-opening to you as a person. Because this isn't just about trading technicals. As much as I like to talk about it and show you guys specifically what's actually happening behind these charts and how you can use it to your advantage. At the end of the day, you have to have your mind right. Because the key thing is, when you improve as a person, your trading is going to naturally improve as part of that. So that's the next step. After realizing issues, whatever they may be, you have to work on yourself. So let's say that you are struggling with anger, okay? And anger leads to revenge trading. Why is that? Well, once you take a trade, it doesn't play out. You're either going to get angry at yourself, or you're going to get angry at the markets, or both. Usually when you get angry at yourself, it's because deep down you didn't follow your plan. If you get angry at the markets, usually the root cause is the same as number one, but something might happen where there's like an unexpected event, or price shouldn't have done what it did, but it did, and then you get angry because it shouldn't have done that, right? And you think that everything should have gone exactly as you planned it. And of course, number three, a mix of both, which is usually the case. It's a mix of you not doing what you were supposed to, but also maybe trading when conditions are bad and then blaming it on the markets, and then you get angry. It all comes back to you. You see how it's never the market's fault. It's always your own. So for me, this was one of the biggest things that I faced, was anger. And a lot of the time, that anger, it could have been easily avoided if I literally just did what I was supposed to do, didn't over leverage, didn't over trade, because that's usually where it starts. It starts with the over trading, right? Where you take a loss, it feels pretty bad, but then you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna try another one. And then you take that second loss, then it really feels bad. Then that anger starts building up, because not only are you gonna be angry at the markets in that case, but also yourself. Because you're gonna start thinking, I never should have taken that second trade. I should have just walked away. Why couldn't I do that? And then you get so frustrated. This is something that I was struggling with. And this is just one of many issues that I had to go through and I had to take care of, right? But I'm giving this specifically as an example because what I did to fix it was to have a hard look at myself in the mirror, essentially. And I had to realize I feel really terrible right now after this all happened, after whatever just went down in the market. How can I go about never feeling like this again? And when you get to that stage, you have definitely experienced it a bunch of times. And that's the difficult part, is you have to go through it to know how bad it feels. And I know that sounds really bad, that sounds really terrible, but it's the reality. You have to experience it in order to know that you never want to go through that again. You never want to feel this way again. You want to fix it, because otherwise you don't have that urgency. The urgency that's telling you, I have to take care of this, because that's only going to come with experience and actually going through it yourself. No matter what anyone tells you, it's the unfortunate, but at the same time, good thing about trading. You both have to find out the issue and also how to fix it, which makes it difficult. This is why trading is difficult. But what I did to fix it, and this is the same process I used across every topic, everything that I was struggling with, was basically I would define very strict rules for myself, to the point where I literally couldn't do the things that were causing me to get angry in the first place. So if you're someone who knows, after I take the first loss, I always overtrade, set a limit for yourself to just take one trade, no matter the outcome. I'm not saying you have to do that forever, but try doing that for a month. Try doing that for a few weeks, because you're going to have to really test and practice your discipline. See if you're able to do that. If you can stick with just taking one trade per day, regardless of the outcome, and leave on each day feeling neutral, feeling okay, regardless of whatever happens. If you can do that for just a month, already your mindset is going to elevate 10x just from that. And this is something that I did. Of course, I realized, okay, I don't have to limit myself to one trade a day once I got past that point, because now I was able to control myself better. I had more discipline, more self-control. And so I could bring that and then objectively think, how can I now refine my system and make sure that this discipline stays? What rules should I have in play? because the rules that you set for yourself, those are the ones that are going to define what you allow for, the room of error essentially, so that you can limit it as much as possible. So basically, when you discover one of these issues, you have to do what I like to call a hard reset. You don't gradually cut away things. You don't, I'm gonna try and do less of this. No, do it. Literally just do it. It's either you do this or you don't. That's how strict you have to be, because you're essentially trying to raise yourself up. You're trying to fix those issues, and you have to be strict if that's gonna work. There's no room for softness, no room for slowly deciding that you're gonna do something. It has to be drastic. Once you've discovered the issue, put something in place that's gonna help you fix that issue, forcing you to get into the scenario, into the mindset that you need to specifically fix that issue. And it's different depending on what emotion it is that you struggle with, whether that's anger, like we just talked about, or whether that's fear. They are handled a bit differently, right? But the approach is the same. You need drastic measures. Otherwise, you're gonna go months with no progress, not because of your technical skills, but because of your mindset and you not having that urgency to actually fix it. Because truly mastering the markets, it all starts with mastering yourself. And I know it's easy to just get right into the technicals, get right into the analysis, because we think that's gonna be the thing that fixes everything. But once you have that in place and you're still struggling, take a hard look at yourself. You need to be able to take action. The reason you're doing it is because of yourself. You're doing this for yourself. It's a demanding task, I know, and it's something that isn't easy, but no one told you that this was going to be easy. You knew going into this that there's going to be challenges. You just didn't know exactly where and what those challenges were going to be, because that's what trading reveals. It reveals essentially who you are, what you struggle with, what you do well. It's going to put all of that on the table and show you. Whether you want to see it or not, there's no hiding from it. If you actually want to make it work, take a hard look at yourself, realize those potential faults, force yourself to get better. Basically, allow no room for your progress to slow down. The quicker you handle this and the harder you go at it, the faster it's going to go away, but also the easier it's going to be. So don't drag it out, just face it head on. If you're wondering how some people are able to progress quickly and to suddenly get to a whole nother level in a short period of time, well, this is it. This is the secret. This is the thing that allows people to do that. So now you see how important that is and how crucial it is for you to do that. If you really want to speed things up and you want to get to where you want to be, you have to do this. And don't just do it half-hearted, you have to go all in. If you can do that, if you can dedicate yourself to fixing your issues, to mastering yourself, making sure that your psychology is on point, that the issues you have get resolved, what the best possible solutions are, and you're going to take things to a whole nother level. Remember, it's all just one big reflection of yourself. So make sure, whatever you do, that reflection is going to be spotless.